There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road is where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, I just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Ridin Pine, Saturday morning TV time. Chronicles of the Fourth Line with Punchy, Langer, and Summertime. How you like that for a little bit of old school nostalgia?
God, man.
Oh my
That
gosh.
was-
The musical stylings
I am
of
crying
Langford.
inside. Wow. Man.
Oh man,
That'll take you back.
What a beauty start to the show. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the fifth episode of Ridin Pine, Chronicles of the Fourth Line. This is the fourth line, and we're giving it to you. Langer taking it home, bringing us into the show. So, for all you guys that are watching us, thanks for watching us. Remember to jump on with us every Wednesday. Type in, let us know what you think. And, come check us out on the YouTube channel. Hit subscribe to get new episodes every week. I'm kind of speechless by the intro of that song, man. It's unbelievable.
I'm like choked up, man. That was amazing, man.
And it was completely unrehearsed and unexpected, which makes it so much better, man.
Yeah.
So anyways,
there you go.
How you doing, boys? Here we are, episode 5.
Yeah, really good now, man. Yeah.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, happy St. Patty's Day.
St. Patty's, drinking
like
a green
secondary here in New Zealand to St. Patty's. It's more like Happy America's Cup Day. Let's binge drink for the week.
Yeah, that's how it rolls. So today's episode is kind of a good one. Every week we kind of throw the dart at the dartboard, so to speak, and we come up with Saturday morning cartoons. Like my whole youth was riddled with Saturday morning cartoons. There's one in particular that I absolutely love. But we're gonna take a trip around memory lane tonight, and maybe it's a little bit of the nostalgia left over from the dad episode there. And but here we go. We're gonna get right into it. We got the cartoons coming to you live, and we're also gonna hit a little bit later in the show when we hit the second period. We're going to talk about the BHL All-Star games that are coming up in the next couple of weeks. This is Chronicles of the Fourth Line, brought to you by the Hockey House. So we'll give you an update on the Hockey House playoffs as well. And then, of course, as always, Langer's going to answer that question and tell us why today's hockey may be better, but it's not necessarily better hockey. So when you go from
because it's not.
When you go from a Saturday morning cartoons, I'm wondering how this applies. And then, of course, we got a good one in overtime. We want to know everybody has a favorite team, but who are the next four? Who are the next four that you love for your special team? And then last week, as I said, it was full of nostalgia. It was all about dad. So we didn't ask Somerville that one burning question that we all want the answer to. So we'll make sure that we end the show in style tonight. And if Langer's going to open up with that kind of ditty, I'm looking forward to seeing what he comes out with at the end. So, hey, here we go, boys. Cheers to Wednesday. First period.
Boys, have a good game, eh?
Yeah,
right.
boys. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
And the first period is underway. How you doing, Summer?
Yeah, man. Yeah, very good. Honestly, still reveling in that intro, man. Right, Littlest Hobo.
That's right.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
That dog was amazing, man.
If you had
do it all.
Unbelievable.
If you had the local non-cable TV station, that was on it.
Oh man,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
that was and the intro song, right? Like that was anyways, brought
Yeah,
back
it's
a lot
just the
of
dog.
memories.
It's just the
So
dog.
he gets on the train or in the
down the
car,
down the
or
highway. Yeah, he's
all the
going
things you
home.
shouldn't do these days, right?
Exactly.
But you know,
Timmy's trapped down a well somewhere.
That's right. That's right.
You gotta go find him. Comes back with an OPP officer.
What's up, boy? Yeah,
To help him. With a mustache.
that's right.
It's back.
Timmy again. Oh,
Timmy again. You're down the well.
oh man,
It's always Timmy.
Friggin' Timmy.
boarded this thing up last time, Timmy. Like, what's going? Anyways, yeah. No, it was so. Was the littlest hobo Canadian then?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All
absolutely.
right.
Well, there's the OPP guy in it with the mustache. There was always a cop or somebody.
Yeah. Then he was helping out. He somehow he was like he always ended up in somebody's jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Like he cruised from town to town solving crimes.
They try and go
Somebody
thank the
call pest
dog.
control.
They try and go thank the dog at the end, but he was ninja dust.
He's
He's
gone.
gone.
That's right.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he's always gone. And then that
I'm off
song
my
and
next
then
town.
that song.
Yeah, that song. Yeah. Yeah. He just froze.
Oh, he just
All right.
froze.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Sorry
like,
about
Real life frozen. Yeah, okay.
Did I freeze?
Yeah. Well.
Did I look
So might
pretty
be
at least?
Well,
Or
maybe-
was I-
maybe he had a
No,
small heart
little
attack or
bit.
something.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Oh, it's coming. but
Minor.
Not quite
But-
yet.
So the Littlest Hobo wasn't a Saturday morning cartoon, obviously, but that was like a Friday night or Sunday evening, right?
It was kind of syndicated. It was on all the time. I shouldn't say it was syndicated
Yeah.
because our local station was called CHEX, Chex TV,
Right.
and it had like the news and like local programming. And I mean, they carried bigger feeds from the bigger stations, but Littlest Hobo was always on.
Yeah.
So when we were talking about cartoons, for some reason, that's the first song that popped in my
Right,
head when you're a
right.
kid.
No kidding, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, when I was thinking about the cartoons too, I was thinking a lot about a lot of the ones that I watched were real time shows. But we'll
Yep.
get to that.
We'll get to that, yeah.
Right.
Because I got a nice list for us tonight. So.
Oh, do you?
Well, I'll probably name. I guess because I'm going first, I'll probably name off a lot of the shows. Well, maybe
That's
not
good.
because it'll be interesting. Because yeah, you mentioned your local station, CHX, right? You said
Yeah, CHEX.
So-
yeah, Chex TV.
ours was look, Saturday morning cartoons, you know, when we grew up I had 13 channels. Like 3 of them were French, 4 of
Yep.
them were French, and then so channel 2, you know, we had like the Pokeroo was on channel 2, Sesame
Polka Dot
Street,
Door,
Polka
yep.
Dot Door, that's what I meant. Yeah, man.
With Marigold and
Hey,
Bear and
hey,
Humpty and Dumpty.
That's right, man.
I see Billy, I see Langer, I see something.
Yeah.
And then look
That's-
through the
that's
tennis,
right,
just
yeah,
like
that's
the
right.
tennis racket. Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
It was a
The
mirror,
polka
wasn't
dot
it?
door.
That's-
The polka dot
Yeah,
door.
it's like a mirror with nothing in it.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's all. Songs and stories and so much more at the polka dot door.
Right on. TVT,
Yeah.
Polka Dot Door. And then, so we
But
had.
now we know the intro song for next song. Next show.
We'll just do that.
The Ridin Pine door. The player's head door. Why then open for so much more?
I don't play, but I open the door.
I offer water to the boys.
My favorite player's number 34. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. All right.
All right.
It's a 5-hour podcast, people.
Yeah,
Get ready.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, jeez. man.
Again,
All right.
hey, I think it should be as long as we used to watch cartoons on a Saturday morning.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, no,
There you go.
man. Well,
Totally, man.
right, okay, sorry, we're getting
All right,
sidetracked.
all right.
Yeah, we
So
are
yeah,
getting
anyways,
sidetracked.
Polka Dot Door, and we're like Mr. Dress Up, and what else we have, Mr. Dress. Anyways, that was TV2. So
AC and Finnegan.
TV3 was Global, which was like a
Yes.
Toronto
Yeah.
network, right?
Yeah,
That
it's
was the big
Toronto
one.
station.
And yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So Global for me was the main TV channel for Saturday morning cartoons. Our local station, oh my goodness, I want to say CFRA, but that's a radio station. I can't even remember the local radio or TV station, to be honest. But yeah, anyways, Global was the place to be. And Saturday morning cartoons started like at the crack of dawn, right? I think the first one, I was an early riser. I was up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why, but I just did. It got to a point where my parents couldn't take it anymore, and they bought me a TV. Put it in my room. It was just
Black and
white. No, it was color,
No.
man. It was
you're rich.
the turning channel, right? You had to get up and turn. It had 13, right? And then it had the little wheel on the channel turner to tune the station, right? It's like
Did you have the one like? I remember I'd get so excited because I'd stay over at like Grandma and Grandpa's, and they had the big nice model, the one that sat on the floor and weighed
With
like
the wood?
500 pounds. Yes, and
With
it
the
had
wood grain
it
finish.
had the wood grain flap where you'd go up to turn the channel by
Yes.
changing the dial.
Yeah, man.
And they had like the matching record player vinyl set.
Oh, so it's gonna say
that,
return
that
record
played,
player.
that played the 8 tracks, and it was like the size of a tool chest, and it took up the whole one wall of the living room.
Man, yeah,
Solid
right.
state
Right?
home stereo
That's
system.
Like nowadays,
High fidelity.
nowadays you're buying like a couch and a coffee table. Back then,
Yeah.
you bought like your floor mount TV and your
Yeah.
massive
turntable, set.
your massive turntable that took over half the living room,
That's
and then
right.
you had to get
And you
the
had like the floor stand ashtray that like was a stand,
That's right.
and it weighed like 150 pounds.
and there was enough spot for like 100 darts in
That's
it
right.
around the
That's
outside.
right.
Yeah.
That
And
was like grandma's.
Yeah, it was like
no matter
grandma's.
no matter what, one of your cousins always went down, cracking his head off the ashtray.
Oh man,
Yeah.
no, that never happened.
Furniture was very unforgiving back in the
No,
day, man.
yeah.
It was,
vicious.
It was
Very
hardwood. It was built to last.
And
You will
and
go
it was-
down before it does.
it was made to be moved once.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. That's right. They
It
built
was
it in
moved,
the home.
no, twice. Moved in
Yeah.
and then moved out.
That's right.
And there was no flat boxes. There was just dents in the door frame from where you made mistakes on your angle coming in.
In the Formica wall, it's like a paneling that looks like real wood, but
That's
it's
right.
like a big,
That's
it's like a sheet,
That's right.
real easy to put a hole through.
Still around
Yeah.
these days.
Setting the stage for cartoons. We got the TV
That's right.
sorted
That's
out.
right.
That's good.
That's
Yeah.
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So there we are.
We
Sitting
haven't even turned it on yet, folks.
sitting
No.
on the carpet floor, right in front of the TV that because you sat right in front of the TV because you need to change the channel, turn up the volume. You didn't
Yeah.
want to walk. You could just get up, reach up and turn it, right?
You'd have to do that
You know.
move, right? Where you're sitting down cross-legged and you can
Yeah.
just lean up and keep both knees on while you lean out to turn that channel. Yeah.
So did anybody get radiation poisoning or cross eyes from sitting so close? Because that's what my parents
That's
told me
right.
would happen if I sat that close.
That's right.
Sure enough.
Yeah. No.
Um,
Well. Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know.
Not
I
sure.
I think it depends on the camera angle, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, surprisingly, I guess I'm going to start with this. Out of our generation of TV shows, there are still some of them that are still going.
All right.
You know what I mean? Like franchises that are still huge to this day, right? G.I. Joe, Barbie, Care
Mickey
Bears,
Mouse.
Mickey
Yeah, I've seen
Mouse,
Care Bears.
right? Looney Tunes, like Bugs Bunny, Daffy
Muppets.
Duck, right? Muppets, right? Yeah,
Yeah, Muppet
exactly.
babies, man.
Yeah.
I
So
men- I mentioned this around the rink, and one of the boys, I mentioned to him that we may do cartoons today, and he just says to me, he goes, "Yeah," he goes, "I lost my brother to Mickey Mouse." He's like, it ended his ice hockey career. I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, it was on Saturday morning, and that's when hockey practice was." And he was just like, had a hard on for Mickey Mouse, and that was it. Like, I'm not playing hockey anymore. I'm just gonna watch Mickey Mouse.
that is
just
why
kinda
I
fire
quit
that in
hockey as well.
Yeah,
I quit
that's why-
hockey for a year.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I told you last episode. Remember, I quit hockey,
Yeah.
and then I got back into it, and my parents let me do it because I certainly wouldn't have let myself do it. Anyways, but
So
yeah,
what? I'm sure you're gonna
Yeah.
tell us, but what was the show? Was it Mickey?
no, it wasn't Mickey. It wasn't one show in particular. I mean, I enjoy, because Saturday morning, right? It ran from 5:30 a.m. to probably like 11:30, 12, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
It was like 6 hours of TV. It was to the point where your parents came in the room or downstairs or whatever and said, "Turn the bloody TV off. You've been on there 4 hours. Go the frig outside." Oh, there's only 3 hours left. Don't worry. I'll do it. Anyways, so
You had no concept of time. You
man,
never
it was
said-
Saturday morning. School was
just
out.
didn't have to go to school. That's right.
Exactly. Yeah. Sunday morning cartoons sucked, man. There was like maybe an hour and a half.
They were all religious
and
ones.
well,
when I
that
was
was
a kid.
yeah. Oh God,
Yes.
yes. Oh,
Do you remember? Do you remember Davy and Goliath?
No.
And they were like kind of like claymation guys. Hello, Davy, and it was like a dog and
I
like
do
a
remember
boy.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had no idea it was Jesus shows until I kind of. But they keep talking about this Jesus guy in the show. You never see him. And I thought, well, what's going on here? And my parents kind of helped me out. I'm like, oh, well, I'd like to see this Jesus guy. I'm like, still, like, what's going on with this? Anyway, yeah, Sunday wasn't. It kind of sucked
man.
compared
I
to
got
Saturday.
just all the religious those, like like the sermons, like Jesus will forgive your sins. Like every Sunday morning, like every channel, there was always some evangelist, pushing Jesus on you. It was a bit much on Sunday, eh?
But that's Sunday here, though. You turn on the TV here on Sunday, there's like 100 sermons going on TV.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that? I don't know. I don't. TV's terrible on Sunday.
Some of them were entertaining though. I remember throwing it on. And you hear like, "Oh, hello everybody, say hi to the Lord," and they're just like they're dancing up a storm, but they're entertaining. Oh, it's unbelievable. They're like ripping around, and they're in like this massive auditorium, and it's just like, oh yeah, I'm blessing you. And they're running around.
They go, and like people would go up, and you still see it
and
today,
they touch them, and they're like, they just start
speaking in tongues and
Anyway,
it's about like really old people and like creepy young people that like started a family at like 15, and they might be related. It's really.
And you'd need a whole week until next Saturday where you can watch Saturday morning cartoons and forget.
That's right. That's right.
All right.
Right. Screw Sunday. Let's go back to Saturday.
Yeah. So Saturday morning cartoons. It got me thinking. Like, is Saturday morning cartoons still a thing? Because it's kind of not anymore, right?
It's not. No.
Yeah. Cartoons are on demand.
TV's not even a thing anymore.
No. Yeah. I know. So largely discontinued in Canada by 2002. Interesting fact there. So, cartoon generation was really sort of in its peak. Like not peak, but what would we look at it? A golden era. In our time. So, anyways, I'll go through my list now.
Yes.
All right. So we'll start now with Looney Tunes, which I'll just say kids don't know Looney Tunes like we
Merry
do,
Melodies,
right?
No.
Your favorite character, Langer?
I loved. There's a lot.
There's a lot. Okay, give me three then. Three.
I liked Foghorn Leghorn
because
he was the
he's
big
on my
rooster.
list. Yeah.
I was gonna say,
listen here, sir.
Don't boy.
That's.
I said, here, boy. Come on over here. I liked him. I liked Daffy Duck because one of my favorite cartoons was rabbit season and duck season, where Elmer Fudd's like trying to shoot Bugs Bunny, but he wrote a sign saying it was duck season. So they have this argument. It's rabbit season, duck season. And Bugs Bunny trips him up and keeps shooting him, Daffy Duck, in the face. And his bill's on top of his head or behind his head.
I remember that.
And he can never figure it out. I always thought that's funny. The violence, that was good.
Yeah. Oh man.
Geez, who else was in there?
Last one.
I don't know. Don't really like Marvin the Martian. But go ahead. That's probably those two.
Yeah, okay. All right, Cam?
Well, Foghorn Leghorn was my favorite.
He's on my list, yeah.
Dude, I used to like what's his name? Wile E. Coyote, the guy that could never catch a road runner.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's on my list as
like,
well. Yeah.
It's like every time he got burnt, he was just like, man. Like he just always had the last like chirp in there, knowing that he didn't get it. And I was like, if I was gonna pick a third,
Dead air, come on.
I don't know, man. I would probably say like I like Daffy, but I used to like his nephews, like three, Huey,
Dewey, and Louie.
Yeah, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Yeah, because they used to come in and torment the crap out of him, right?
That was Donald Duck's nephew.
Oh yeah, that was.
Donald Duck's nephew.
That's right. Yeah,
okay,
Disney. Yeah,
my bad.
Daffy Duck was a bastard. He didn't have any family.
He didn't have family. Yeah,
he might have had a girlfriend for a minute.
That's right. That's
I
good.
forgot to mention Yosemite
went
Sam.
wrong.
Oh,
went
come on.
wrong.
All right, that was on my list. All right, so
Yosemite Sam's good. too.
Yosemite Sam, yeah, Yosemite man, the
Yosemite.
biggest stash you could find on the
Yeah.
planet, and a temper to back it up.
Yeah.
Man, he would shoot his guns when they're in his holster. He would fly. You know, remember that? Well, biscuit, my biscuit burning, or whatever he would say, right?
Yeah.
My biscuits are burning. Anyways, how about this guy, Black Jack?
Jack. Oh my God. I was just thinking that cartoon is one of the best ever.
Who's
Right?
that?
Black Jack Shellac.
He was like a cowboy. He was like a gambler.
He was so the old Western posters where it said "Wanted," right?
Yeah.
I'll pull him
Yeah.
up here.
But there was also another guy named Nasty Canasta, and he would stand next to the poster, and he'd walk away, and he looked exactly like the poster. And there's an episode where he took a shot of booze, and it was like a mixture of poison stuff, and it was so strong it just flipped his mustache a little bit and didn't affect him at all. Big body and tiny little feet.
All right, here we go.
Nasty
What do you
Canasta.
got for us there, Summer?
Here's Black Jack.
He was French. Oh, he was the fur trader guy, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, he
was like the
looks
lumberjack.
Nasty man. He just looks nasty.
That's right.
Come on.
Black Jack Shellac.
Oh, where is a good? This is not a
Sure.
good picture.
That's right. He wore a toque and like jeans and like a
Yeah.
plaid shirt and stuff.
Yeah. Hold on. All right, here it comes. Here he comes. All right, so here's Black Jack Shellac.
Yes.
Right? So remember
Yes,
in the
okay.
poster,
I
right?
remember
So
that.
it was the wanted, and then he would walk away from it, right? And there was this picture in the background, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess I wanted to mention, like the amount of violence in Looney Tunes was nuts, right? Like
Oh,
all
yeah.
the people we've just mentioned, all have guns, right? Elmer Fudd hunts Bugs Bunny, constantly. Right? Even Foghorn Leghorn, right? He's always slapping the dog around. You see here, boy, whoosh, whoosh, right? Smacking him around. Well, I say. Anyways, Yosemite with his guns. I was saying, what was the one you had there, Langer? What was the guy?
Oh, it's Nasty Canasta. If you can pull him up.
Nasty
Oh, there was always
Canasta.
like the bowling ball candle bomb, like that was popular.
Canastic?
Canasta,
Canasto.
Nasty Canasta. Yeah, Blackjack. He was good. Do you remember that one cartoon? It
Oh
was always
yeah,
like-
that's right.
Remember him?
This dude is awesome, man. That's right.
He
I
was
love
yeah.
this
nasty.
guy. That's great. Man. Look at the chin on him.
It
Yeah.
was Drip Along Daffy, I think was the name of that cartoon.
Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
and he had the tiniest little boots. like
That's
the-
right. That's right.
Yes, in the smallest feet.
How does it support his ginormous
That's
body?
right. Oh man.
Look at that tie around his neck. It's awesome.
That's great. No, it's like a little
See-
French.
Hey, you don't see them like this anymore, eh?
No.
No.
Well, Bugs Bunny cartoons and Looney Tunes used to be cartoons that they show in the theater, like back in the
True
40s
enough.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And so when the cartoon phase came in the 60s and 70s, they started adding it to the rotation of Saturday morning. That's why they weren't very long, because they were like in between films and things at the theater.
Here's Foghorn for us.
Yeah,
He
it
had a
used,
little
to, it used to be a
Yeah,
very
his
big
little
thing
nephew.
when a new animated movie
Yeah.
came out.
He was also
And
a
then-
lippy fellow.
Well, there was the little baby eagle, like the chicken hawk, remember? He
Yeah,
used to
that's
try and
right.
take him under his ring,
That's right.
and like help him out and stuff.
That's right.
And he'd wake up like Leghorn would wake up like on a spit over a fire. He's like, I say, I can smell something burning. And he's getting cooked alive. Yeah, talk about the violence.
That's right, right? Yeah. Like, remember the anvils dropping on heads and like,
Oh, yeah.
anyways, like, yeah.
So that was Wiley, man. He used to get he'd get run over by trains. He'd get hit by cars, blown up by bombs.
That boulder teetering, like just teetering on the edge.
That's right. That's right. Just teasing.
Do you remember the piano gag? And they would rig the one key on the piano, and they'd play that song, dun 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 dun, and it was that one note, but they'd always play it wrong. And so Yosemite would get frustrated. He goes, "Oh, I'll show you how to do it." And of course, he'd play it and blow himself up.
Yeah.
No. No, I don't remember that one.
You got to find that one. That's classic stuff.
I love that one. I love
I'm
that
so
one.
excited about talking about cartoons.
I love that one where he's like shaved half the handlebar, but his face is just like that. You see that one in the middle?
Oh yeah, there he is. Yeah. Oh
So
yeah, that's right. His face is still there. Eh?
Apparently, that's just how his cheek looks.
Right.
Shaved the color off of his
That's
face.
right.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on from Looney Tunes, good one there. All right, so just a quick mention, Thundercats. All right, quick mention, Garfield, the Muppet Babies, the Smurfs, Dennis the Menace. Those were kind of like, remember, Gummy Bears.
Gummy Bears.
Don't remember. Yeah, see, like you might have had
Gummy
Rainbow
Bears. I
Bright.
remember the Care Bears.
What about? Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
I know Rainbow Bright.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So here's some special mentions. He-Man, right?
He-Man.
The
Power of Grayskull.
the,
Yeah.
the master of the universe. right?
Universe.
You know.
They made a movie with Dolph Lundgren as He-Man.
Is that
It's
right?
terrible.
Eh?
Yeah, a live action one. It's terrible.
Not a bad guy. Had the haircut. Like
Skeletor was terrifying as a kid
Oh
too.
man. So
he lived in Castle Grayskull.
He-Man had there was one episode. He goes to a different dimension, and he befriends a man called Fisto. And
I think you brought up Fisto before. I love it.
here's a scene from that episode.
This wasn't on the cast.
So
Oh my
let's just
God.
examine
And
Fisto
and
there
now-
for a moment.
I'm
So
picturing
Fisto. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, picturing.
I'm picturing that being Dolph Lundgren's face. Right now. Maybe Sylvester Stallone is the bad guy, Fisto.
I love how Fisto's just leaning on his thigh casually.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Just relax, man.
Like, don't be afraid.
That's right. Steel fist.
Don't be afraid.
What you doing, Fisto?
That's right. So, yeah. Anyways, He-Man.
How about
Get
you
over here.
come over here?
Now He-Man. Whoops. He-Man then had a spin-off, right? He was his sister. I can't. So, what was He-Man's real name?
Shira.
Well,
his name was Adam.
His name was Adam, right? Yeah.
His real name was Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, what was his sister's real name?
Oh, Shira.
Because no, Shira, like that was Adam was He-Man. That was his.
Yeah, Shira was when she was
superhero.
all jacked up.
Yeah, that she was. That's right. Right. It's like boom, steroids, attack.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so yeah. Then there was Battle Cat, and Skeletor was the bad guy.
I'm still waiting for you to like flip to the next slide, Summer. I
We're
want to
getting
know.
there.
I want to know what Fisto's doing.
yeah. No.
are you
We're just
doing,
gonna
Fisto?
leave that there. You know.
Princess Adora Shira.
Oh,
according to the
boom!
internet.
Princess Adora Shira, right? Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Right. So moving on, because my time's running out here. We got Dungeons and Dragons was probably one of my all-time favorite Saturday morning cartoons. I fucking loved Dungeons and Dragons with the Uni and the Dungeon Master and like Eric. Anyways, it was cool because they had the magician.
Eric.
That's right.
Everyone had an awesome name,
Yeah.
and then there's Eric.
Yeah, that is Eric.
Eric was the ranger, man. Oh no, maybe Eric was the what do you call it? Because one of them, the leader had it was like a bow and arrow that shot like friggin' lightning. It didn't have a string on it, and he just sort of pulled it, and lightning would come out and shoot. And there was a magician, there was a thief, there was like all the sort of characters of Dungeons and Dragons. And there was the cool little dungeon master. And then they had this cool little unicorn called Uni. Me, save me. That's all it would say. I'm Uni.
I'm Uni.
Did Uni ever meet Fisto?
Yeah, maybe in one crossover episode.
I bet you if you did, he'd tell him, just relax, man. Just relax. Just relax.
That's
people."
right. That's right.
That's right.
All right, okay, let's see this next clip.
All
What is
right.
Fisto
Okay,
doing?
so next one is
What'd you do? What did Fisto do this weekend?
Well, yeah, right, eh? So next mention is Pee Wee Herman. Right?
Oh, Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Pee Wee's Playhouse, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, it was on my
Right?
list.
I
So
still put that on for my kids today, man.
yeah, right? No,
It's kind of trippy, though.
It
Yeah,
it is
when
super
you watch
watch it
trippy,
now,
man. Oh
it's
my
so
god,
trippy.
everything
And, like,
talks.
and some of the people in there, you're like, man, is that Lawrence Fishburne? Yes,
Man.
it is.
Yeah,
Lawrence
Yes, it is.
Fishburne.
Yeah.
Is that Phil Hartman? Yes, it is.
It was
Yes, it
Phil
is.
Hartman. Yes,
Like,
it
you
was.
know,
He was the sailor
Yes,
guy.
it was.
What?
Well, he was Cowboy. What was his name? Cowboy
Yes,
Curtis.
yes.
Cowboy
He was
Curtis.
the black cowboy with a jerry curl.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah. Cowboy
And
Curtis.
Zombie the genie.
And they had
Let's say it together, guys. Mecca-lecca
Hi-yo.
hi-yo.
Damn it, man.
Mecca High.
That's
Mecca
right.
High.
You got it.
Mecca-chani-ho.
And the like the next door neighbor chick would come over and flirt with the genie when he popped out. Remember?
Miss
She was-
Yvonne.
Miss Yvonne, right? She
Miss
was
Yvonne.
totally.
Yeah.
That's oh man, I forgot about that. That's crazy.
Right.
Right.
It's totally trippy.
So Pee Wee, let's just say, later in life, got caught living life. And so
But that's okay. That's okay.
oh, that's okay. But
I
unfortunately,
forgive him.
When you're a celebrity, everything's made public.
And that was like
And-
before you had phones. So like,
And can,
Yeah,
you know,
poor guy,
so,
right?
so he had no clue.
But so I don't have another picture of Pee Wee Herman. So if we maybe look at him,
In his 40s.
like on the show.
I mean, I guess it was tough because he originally his humor was more adult.
Oh,
If you go
yeah,
back to the
absolutely.
Pee Wee Herman show and stuff and Shoemears, but at that time he was marketed towards kids. So when a child, role model is caught jacking it in an adult movie theater, it's kind of like, oh, you got a lot of questions.
Whoops.
Are you at a kid's show?
Yeah.
So that's Pee Wee Herman, right?
not on a kid's show. No, it's not me.
That's right. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like the guy from Police Academy, right?
Paul Rubens.
He
He was in the movie Blow.
Oh, you're talking about Bobcat Goldthwait, who played
Oh yeah, you're talking-
the biker. He was like,
That's right. That's right.
He played Zed in the Police Academy movie.
Yes, he was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
No, so they
Just yelling at people.
Yeah.
so that was Pee Wee so when he was in acting, and then here's where's Pee Wee?
Pee Wee's Big Adventure is one of my favorite movies ever. By the way.
Oh right, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so Pee Wee, unfortunately, but he had cool for example, so yeah, things that they did, like with the genie, Mika Honey Ho, you break that down, and it's
a secret word.
Yeah, man, there's something in there, right? And
Yeah.
they had the talking chair. Her name was Cherry, right? The talking clock.
Yeah.
His name was Clocky, right? They got
And
Yeah.
Globy.
Globy. That's
Globy.
right. You know what I mean? Shoot. Anyways, yeah. No, go.
There was cool. There was 3 puppets that were like jazz musicians. There was like Cool Cat, and there was like a chick one that was, I guess, kind of hot when you're little. I don't know.
You're right. Okay, well, talking about
Chicky
hot
Baby.
when
That was
you're
her name.
little,
Chicky Baby.
I'll mention the 3 flowers. I remember the 3 singing flowers on his windowsill as well.
Oh yes.
Anyways, so you're talking about hots. I had a crush on Rainbow Bright. All right, that's what I'm
Oh
saying.
yeah.
Rainbow
I had the
Bright.
biggest crush on Rainbow Bright, man. I wanted her so bad. Yeah, man. I wanted her to come down in her rainbow car and pick me up, and I didn't know what would happen after that, really. But yeah, there she is.
Yeah.
She's hot. Let's see.
She had.
Yeah,
she was
there's
good.
that's the. Oh yeah, there you go. There's the 80s Rainbow Bright.
What's coming?
there.
Yeah.
But
She had big hair,
she
eh?
looks a bit crazy there.
Huge head.
Big hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was way harder than Strawberry Shortcake.
Yeah. Oh, Strawberry Shortcake. Yeah, she was cute too, eh?
And Barbie was too old. She was like an
Yeah,
adult.
Barbie.
so
Yeah. No.
She was like an old lady.
Yeah.
when you were a kid.
Um,
She couldn't hold down a job either. She had a million jobs.
I didn't know that she were like even Ken as well. But
Well, they had commitment issues, I think.
all right, I'm coming down our list here. Next one I've got is Roger Ramjet.
Oh yeah,
Roger
Okay.
Ramjet.
I remember Roger Ramjet.
Now-
I forgot about that.
I've got the video and the lyrics
Oh, my
here
goodness.
because
There's a song.
yeah. Oh man, this.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's right.
Now, unfortunately, I can't do audio on this, but I want us to read the lyrics. So I did a little bit of research about Roger Ramjet. Because just the fucking name itself is kind of like,
It's amazing.
what?
He's-
Ramjet. Okay. So, good old Roger, right? I was wondering, because it's about an American, hero, right? Basically. And I thought, is this a Canadian view of an American hero, or is it an American view of an American hero? And it turns out it's an American view of an American hero. This show was between 1965 and 69, right? So that still aired in the early 1980s when it would come on every once in a while, right? You guys remember it, right? And had a very distinct opening theme song, right? So reading the lyrics here, right? Roger Ramjet and his Eagles fighting for our freedom. So I'm just going to stop there. Okay.
Dude, hold on. I think it's to the tune of Yankee Doodle.
It is, exactly. That's
Yeah.
right. That's
Yes,
right.
okay.
That's right.
Now I got it.
That's right. Exactly right.
Nailed it.
I had to sing it in my head, and I got it. I remember now.
Oh my God, that's correct. So back in 1965, right? The Americans are already or are still fighting for their freedom because
Yeah, Cold War.
That's right, 65. Fly through in and outer space, not to join them, but to beat them.
Yeah.
Right? Freedom is the only fucking way. Right? Roger Ramjet, he's our man, hero of our nation, right? For his adventures, just be sure to stay tuned to the station. And then it's all as this bullshit steak. But as Roger Ramjet and his men get all the crooks they're after. So there's a statement about America, right? And how they get everybody they want, right?
America.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, you can put on the video here, but we won't get audio, but it's interesting. I don't know. Can you still see this?
Yes, it
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
Oh, I
So,
remember this.
Roger Ramjet, he's our man, the hero of our nation. If he can't do it, no one can. Succantation. I don't know. But yeah, man. I can kind of hear it in the background. Can you guys hear it?
I can actually hear it, yeah.
I can hear it too.
Who knows if the people at home can hear it, let us know.
I've got it on my phone, so.
Oh, you're pulling it up. Okay, I'm wondering how can I hear it?
Oh, okay.
He had a strong jaw, too.
He did, right? Yeah.
Like, is American Dad based on him, you think?
I mean,
you
very
ever watch that
early,
American
Good
Dad?
call. Good call. Yeah.
Similar head look.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that sort of standard superhero look, though. That chiseled jaw.
Yeah.
Broad shoulders, tiny feet.
That's right. Oh, there he is. Yeah. He's like
Good call, Summertime.
friendly-looking Roger Ramjet.
Summer,
right?
you're crushing it on the research
That
here.
is
bud.
golden,
Right?
man. Well done.
All right,
Yeah.
so that's Ramjet.
Quite impressed.
Roger fucking Ramjet. Jesus
Roger
Christ.
It's a great-
Ramjet.
The first
Great
Team
name for a hockey
America.
team, eh?
The Ramjet.
The Ramjet.
The Ramjet.
That's our next PHL franchise. Right
And
there.
you could,
Picture
yeah,
picture of Fisto like sitting in a plane or like flying a kite or something. I don't know.
Oh man.
Ramjets.
the Just Relaxes with Fisto.
All right, next one is the Jetsons.
Yep.
All right,
Oh,
Hanna-Barbera.
Oh yeah, Barbera. Yeah. No,
Hanna-Barbera.
Judy and Jane were hot.
Yep.
Man, they were
Yep.
hot.
Yeah.
future space
Yeah.
chicks, right?
I never
Future space chicks.
Yeah.
I didn't understand when I was a kid though why like the teenager had white hair and the mother had like the nice blonde hair.
blonde hair.
Like it didn't
They're
make sense.
space chicks.
Or why all of them in the family, none of them have the same hair.
True.
I don't know. Yeah, none of them
Yeah.
looked alike, did they?
That's right.
Oh.
I guess it's genetics, right? That's genetic manipulation. All right. So quiz. What was the maid's name?
Rosie?
Rosie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dog's
Okay.
name was Astro.
Oh, damn
Astro.
it. That was going to be... Okay, shut
And
up.
Elroy's the boy.
Yeah.
isn't he?
Elroy,
damn it,
yeah.
yeah.
And Jane.
And Jade,
Jane.
I already named them. Yeah.
I like how it's like a 60s show in the future, but it
future.
just still looks like the 60s.
That's
though.
right. That's right.
What was,
Hey,
what was
there
his
you go.
boss's name though? What was the boss's name? What was his boss's
Oh,
name?
yeah.
'Cause there
Oh,
was,
he had a
on
mu-
the
Mr.
Flintstones, there was Mr. Slate.
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
mustache.
can't remember. All right. Anyways, moving on. Next
Yes.
one.
Nice.
That's a good one. I like
Uh,
Jetsons.
Transformers.
Yes.
More than meets the eye.
Oh, I loved Transformers,
More than
man.
meets the eye.
Yeah.
Especially the toys. They were the
No,
best.
oh man, they're so
Yeah, I
much
like the
better
toys
back
better.
then than
Yeah,
they
they're
are
metal.
now.
No.
Yeah.
With like rubber tires and
Yes.
stuff. They're all plastic and
Yes,
crap
and they
now.
Yeah.
break and they're terrible,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
You used to hit your foot on one of those, you'd feel it.
Oh man. Now the good
Transformers.
the good thing about Transformers is that their names were awesome.
Yes,
They
they
had
were.
wicked names.
Yeah.
Even just Optimus Prime, right? It's
Yeah,
a wicked
Optimus
name.
Prime.
Megatron, Ultra Magnus. So did you guys have a favorite one?
Starscream.
Starscream.
Starscream was like the jet, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
I
Look
like-
at all
I
this,
like
man. Like,
Optimus.
Who was the guy who was like he transformed into like a ghetto
that was
blaster?
me.
That was deep-
And the
that was
tape
deep-
came out and it was like a yes,
no.
and the tape came out. It was a dog.
Soundwave.
Soundwave, man. That was my
Yeah.
favorite.
Oh.
Yeah, man.
I liked him too.
Yeah.
He was
Awesome.
cool.
Yeah. What about? Anyways, and then they came out with the dinosaurs, right? The dinosaurs
Yeah.
made a
Din-
super
Yeah.
bot,
Dinobots.
right? The Dinobots,
Dinobots.
man. And then there was this hot girl. And can you guys still see this or what?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. I was
Some
like,
6-year-old's like, what is that?
Yeah.
Doesn't,
We're literally
that doesn't
watching
belong
this.
She's
there.
a transformer. Can I watch
What?
Transformers, Daddy? Yeah, it got. Oh,
I was gonna
Jesus.
say something awful.
Yeah, wow.
Hey, Summer,
Transforms
Okay.
into a
we got to get out of the first period.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right.
Really?
All right. Couple more
No.
here. I'll just
Oh,
go
I
through one
wanna
of this
stay here
real
all
quick.
day.
Here. Okay. Go through
yeah.
one of those real
Rattle
quick.
it off.
All right.
Let's
Remember
go.
the real Ghostbusters.
Yep.
Scooby Doo.
Where are you?
Inspector Gadget. Okay,
Yes.
not a
Yes.
Saturday morning cartoon. I watched that before school during the week. But
Yeah.
all right, quick, Inspector Gadget. What was the name of the bad guy?
Mr. Claw.
No,
Huh?
Was he a doctor?
Dr. Claw. I don't
Dr.
go to
Claw.
medical
He had a
school
cat.
for 8 years. That's right. What was his cat's name?
Oh gosh. Azrael was the Smurfs.
That's right. That's that's the first cat I thought of as well.
Yeah.
Mr. Claw.
Oh.
It's Mad Cat.
Oh, man.
Oh, okay.
That's right. That was the
I
His
didn't really
daughter-
care about the
Daughter's
cat.
name was
Yeah.
Penny. Daughter's name was
Penny.
Penny, and the dog's name was
Brain.
Brain.
Brain. All right, DuckTales, Gummy Bears, Tiny Toons.
Woo.
Remember
Yep.
Tiny Toons? Mask.
Yep.
Do you remember Mask? Not Mask like Green Carry Mask. Mask. You'll remember.
Like the movie with the guy with the messed up face, that one?
Yeah, I think so.
He had like elephantitis of the face or something?
it was this.
What is that?
No. It looks like a knockoff of like Transformers. That's like Optimus Prime at the top. You guys,
We can do this all night, boys. Honestly, until I have to go to work tomorrow, I'll just keep going.
just keep looking at cartoons.
Until we're just passed out in front of our computers. I'm gonna go watch. You're gonna go watch cartoons later on when you're done.
Yeah, you should. We're giving everybody some good pointers here on some of the best cartoons.
Summertime. I don't know that one. I've never seen.
I
it.
don't know that one either.
Is that a regional one? Are those Garbage Pail Kids
Oh
cards?
my goodness!
Oh my
Yes.
God!
Yes, I remember those.
I don't think I was allowed to have them because they were so disgusting and offensive. It was dead Fred or whatever. He was like a zombie coming out of the ground.
Yeah, there were so many of them. They were always like
Oh.
they're always like a person's real name and then like something else on the end.
Yeah, like Adam Bomb and
Sumo Sid. Yeah.
I think it was a sticker too. You could peel it off and stick it to your door.
Yeah, you can stick them on all kinds of things.
Okay, we can't be getting into this because this is another episode.
Yeah, no.
Dinosaur. That's so clever.
All right,
Yeah, because then yeah.
Summer, what's your
Where did he go? He's
all-time
gone.
favorite one? Is he gone?
He's gone to watch cartoons. Pulled a shoot.
He pulled the chute and he's gone.
He's gone to the dressing room.
He's off for a shift.
Okay.
He probably got booted off for stealing all the YouTube videos. and trying
Yeah, he probably did.
He's trying to play. He's playing YouTube videos on YouTube, and with that, the first period's over.
Yeah,
He is gone.
he left.
He just bounced out the whole
Oh,
situation. I'm sure his house just got raided by
Yeah, by the cartoon cops.
the cartoon cops got a bit quick.
The Hamburglar from the McDonald Land characters showed up.
But hey, man, I sat there and I was thinking all about. Summer, we moved on to the second period. We figured you got arrested by YouTube for playing too many of them.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe.
I
Yeah.
thought maybe Roger Ramjet showed up,
Yeah.
take you for a spin to see Rainbow Bright.
I thought Fisto maybe had you held down and he was telling you to relax.
And he's going, shh,
Coach Green.
it's okay. It's okay.
So we moved on to the second period, and I was just when we started talking about these doing the cartoons, I was really thinking about it, and a lot of the stuff that I watched on Saturday morning was a little bit later, like you were saying. Like most of the time they ended at like 10. So I always watched a bunch of like Saved by the Bell and Pee Wee's Playhouse and those type of ones. But the one that I remember like vividly, so I did a little bit of research today, and I looked up one of the ones that I remember from back in the day, and it was ProStars. You guys remember ProStars?
Yep.
No.
There were the athletes in it.
So you had Bo Jackson, who
the
goal of the show is to represent all four sports. And
big
take-
sports.
And take these three names and stuff them into the mainstream to help the sports grow individually. So they had Bo Jackson, who at the time covered both football and baseball. And
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And if you remember Bo, Bo knows this, Bo knows that. There was always those big campaigns for Nike.
Yeah, the Nike commercials. Yeah.
Nike commercials. Bo don't know diddly.
Yep.
And then
That's
they had
right.
the Michael Jordan, of course, for basketball. And then they had Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
And Wayne Gretzky as a superhero was amazing because he would push a button on his shoes and he'd have inline skates that would shoot out of the bottom.
That's
and
right.
And he would cruise and he'd throw pucks out of his hip pack onto the ground, and each puck did like a different thing, like Batman. Like you take a slap shot and it would turn into a boomerang and tie a guy up as he's running down the hallway. Or he would like shoot a puck ahead of himself that would turn if he was going at a cliff or something, he would shoot the puck and then it would hit the end of the cliff and turn everything into ice, and then he'd switch from inline to ice skates and go cruising across it. And the show only ran for like one season, but it was absolutely unbelievable. Like I'm sure Summertime is looking it up.
I remember it.
That's kind of what he does. But you remember that show? And
They all had superpowers with their athletic abilities.
Yeah, and at the beginning of each show, they would explain what the episode was about. At the end of the show, they would answer questions, and in between the,
Yes, there it is.
there they are, and they all worked out in the gym together, and you see
And they're all just jacked, eh?
I don't know if you can see. Can you bring up that top picture there?
That's the best Gretzky has ever looked in his life.
That one right there, yeah. Bring that one up. So I can't remember her name, but she was the boss. She was like the
nose
nerd
on her, man.
She was.
My God.
I know. She was like the chick that ran the gym because they
None
all
of these
trained.
guys are banging her. I'll tell you that much.
Nobody.
The blue
I
eagle.
don't know. I don't know.
Oh, I got
Yeah, if you've never seen ProStars, you definitely got to look it up.
Yeah.
I was looking at it today. The theme song for that show used to be. It was like "We Will Rock You" from Queen. So it was like. Boop, boop, ch, boop, boop, ch.
I've never heard that song before.
We are ProStars. ProStars.
Of course.
Wayne's got a slap. Shot. Bo knows where to go.
I wonder if the American kids watch that and go, who's the white guy?
That's right, eh?
Does he play tennis or is he the coach? Is he a quarterback of something?
Coach. Is he the quarterback?
So every episode of the show, they would get a teleconference message. So it was like over and way past its time. They were video messaging. They were Zooming before Zoom existed, and they would get a thing from a kid, and they'd have to jump into action. So just like let me run down some of these episodes. They're so funny. Like, where is it? The Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup gets stolen. It's called the Clockwork Catastrophe, in which the Stanley Cup gets stolen, and the ProStars have to jump into action. And at the end of the show, Gretzky tells them what it means to win the cup and how to earn it. That's the lesson of the story.
Of course.
So pretty much every episode, and then another one is about how Michael is explains how he's the greatest. So I was like, this show ran for one season just to like boost egos for those three guys. But yeah, I had to bring that up.
Sell jerseys.
And one of the reasons why I wanted to bring up ProStars.
Oh man, Michael's got shoes with rockets on them.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's got rollerblades with rockets, man.
With rockets.
Wow. Oh, there it is. The
boomerang puck. Yeah, see? The boomerang puck. There it is.
Watch out, Bo. Oh my God. Wow. Okay, good for him.
Yeah,
he's stopping.
Oh, he's picking up trees.
Just picks and stashing diggers.
Saving the environment.
I fight with wood.
They need to bring this back.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
okay.
absolutely. They do need to bring it back.
Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Shut down your YouTube there.
All right. Sorry, buddy.
So talking about the ProStars, getting caught up and switching gears here for a couple minutes. We got the BHL All-Star games coming up. That's why we got some All-Star jerseys in the background. And so what is it? Next Saturday. Next Saturday. So you got the 20th coming up where you got the AIHA. They got a Hockey Day in Canada coming up, which is a wicked event for all of New Zealand and the world of hockey. Gonna have stuff set up for the kids and a game and whatnot. The following weekend, though, man, it's going to be one of the best games that you're going to see all year. It's going to be the BHL All-Stars teams. So there's 15 guys from each conference that are going to be playing off against each other. We got big supporters. Puck are actually going to do a lineup release for us for over the weekend here.
Puck yeah.
And then tonight, me and Summer are actually going to rip off and announce the FHL squads because we got that coming up on April 3rd. And then I also wanted to bring up the fact that playoffs have been adjusting quite a bit. There's now 4 teams gone out of the FHL, and we even have one BHL team gone. Summer, you got your 4th game coming up, trying to stay alive. But let's get to the All-Star. Let's get to the All-Star guys right now. And we'll have a look at some of the guys that made the team for the FHL. So again, it's All-Star Saturday. We're doing it over 2 weekends this year, which is a little bit different from something that we've done before. We're going to do it on the 27th and the 3rd. I'm just trying to bring up the lineup here.
There's a lot of thinking going on there, Cam.
Yeah, it's
multitasking's not working out for you very well.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's the 20.
It's really not. It's the 27th and the 3rd. I'm trying to find the 27th
and the 3rd.
And the 3rd. So you got on the 27th, you got the BHL All-Star game, and then on the 23rd or on the 3rd, you have FHL All-Star game.
Right, there we go. Right.
Over Easter weekend. I still haven't found the lineups yet, though. How's that for you?
I've got the lineups.
Yeah? All right, rip them off then.
Shall I rip them off?
Rip them off.
All right. So, representing the Front Yard Conference All-Stars for 2021, the coach / grocery stick will be the captain of the sauce, Mr. Chris Kelly. He will be coaching forwards Kyle Kaliniak, Rob Moon, and Ty Ireton from the Donkeys. Marku from the Sauce, and Josh Paris also from the Sauce. Corey Gardner and Flynn Hertzke from the Insects, and Yanko Nikolov and Robin Alden from the Fish Sticks. Those are the Front Yard Conference All-Star forwards. The defensemen for the Front Yard All-Star forwards. Have you guys found the list now or what? I didn't see something.
No, I haven't.
No, right. D-Mans. John Parento, who's having a standout season for the Donkeys, and Anthony Buford also have a standout season for the Donkeys. Probably favored to win the cup this year, I might say. Piers Bowman for the Tip Insects.
Yep.
Perry.
The Peelers.
That's right. Depending on how you
it's a
hear
great
it.
name, too.
It is, yeah. Perry Bragdale, who's also having a great season with the Sauce. Mike Harvey with the Insects, and Matt Davies with the Donkeys. And in between the pipes, we've got a Bartek Iratowski, also with the Donkeys, and Jaden Pert representing the Sauce. Yeah. So congratulations to all those people for making the Front Yard Conference All-Star team.
So I have found the list now, and I can do the other one.
Well, that was my conference. I just did yours first.
Oh, you did mine for me? You go ahead.
No.
Okay,
you announce this conference, and we'll go back to our conferences for the BA.
All right, sweet. Yeah, because now that we got the list. So the 2021 Frozen River Conference All-Stars, your starters are Chad Croft, Philip Petrie from the Cones, Sam Nemiroff from the Rays, Jeremy Parker, who's fresh off an America's Cup win.
Shout out to Jeremy Parker. Congratulations, buddy.
JP.
What an accomplishment.
That's pretty cool.
It's like
What
winning
is
a
he
Stanley Cup, putting that on your resume.
for boats?
Yeah.
It's
Go
like a
JP.
Stanley Cup for boats. And filling out that team, we got Tyler Bannerman from the Cox. We got Jared Parker from the Cones, Rachel Park from the Rays, Brittany Carroll from the Rays, Kian Breednack, and Mike Lazowski from the Boucherons, as well as Ricky Lee
Just Breathnick.
Breathnick.
Breathnack. He's got a knack for breathing.
That's probably
Good work, Kian. Good work. Keep breathing, buddy. You got the knack for it.
Then we got Ricky Lee McLean, Tristan Worley for the Boucherons, and rounding out that team, you got Anthony Blackett and net, and Lachlan starting the game, and they're going to be coached grocery stick by Chris Noble. Can we go through the BHL?
Yes, let's do it. Congratulations, Nobly. Oh, that's right. So I want a special shout out to Nobly when they went to Queenstown with the Goons for the Queenstown Cup. He on his dark side of the jersey, he put Nobly, right, as his name.
Yeah.
But the announcer in Queenstown kept, because it was live stream and I was watching, he kept pronouncing it knobbly.
No.
I could stop laughing. Then it got me going, because you know how nicknames sort of morph after a while. Now I want to call him Knobbler. But anyways, no, we'll just stick with Nobly. All right. Why don't you start then with the backyard conference there, backyard Cameron?
Backyard Cameron, here we go. All right, well, the backyard conference. So in the backyard conference, I'll be behind the bench with Joe Dirt from Puck Yeah.
Today, Puck Yeah.
And I'll start from the net out. I'm gonna go from the net out. So you got Finley backing up Mikey Hopkinson, who will start. And you got Mike Atwell, Blake Jackson, Stefan Thuler, Nick Craig, and starting you have Steve Mawson and Justine Degali. And then you have Jakob Ratcliffe, Richie Hopkinson, Chase Goulin, Vinny Cistroni, Nick Henderson, Robin Vortnoff, Max Vesper, Andre Kozak, Tim McKay. So
basically, it's a Swarm Admirals scrimmage.
Pretty much.
That's right. That's pretty much.
This is going to be a good viewing one because we're actually going to do it as a full length game with intermissions. So it's going to be a full afternoon of good hockey starting next Saturday, the 27th at 4:15, and the Frozen Conference. Hit it, Summer.
Right, Frozen Conference. So in net starting between the pipes, Mr. Canada. Backing him up will be Miss Grace Harrison. On defense, we've got Ian Wanamaker from the Castors, Sean Harrison from Le Foc, Eric Dewitt from the Castors, Alex Lugan from Le Pilon, Chris Jeffries from Les Soleil, and Aj Spillet from Les Fox.
Aj.
We've got Matt Taylor from the Suns, Logan Gillard and Alex Polzoff and Josh Whiston Lee from Les Pilons, Jordan Charles from Les Soleil, Steve Hewish from Les Foc, Reed Cole from Les Castor, and Scott Henry from Les Foc. Are we going through the starting lineup? Are we going that detailed? Have we decided that?
I don't really think we need to. Like I said, thanks to our.
It's not been decided yet. Sorry, folks.
Well, we're behind the benches, right? So we kind of decide.
Yeah. Right.
Are we gonna line match in this game against each other? Are we gonna put a little wager on it, or like what are we gonna do? It's conference versus conference. We're coaching against each other here.
Well, I'm looking at your lineup versus my lineup. You've got an actual bona fide NZIHL team versus I've got. It's still an amazing team, but I've probably got a few retired NZIHLers on my team.
Well, then I think that the best way to end the second period would probably be to just put a percentage on it.
I think it would be.
What's the percentage of my team winning to beat your team, and what's the percentage of your team beating mine? I would say the percentage of my team beating yours, I'm going to go with 65% chance that we're going to beat.
It's pretty high.
Yeah. I got confidence in the boys.
I'm going 47% chance. We have a 50-50 basically. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Langer, you want to care to throw a wager in after seeing them too?
Oh, Langer.
50%. Somebody's going to win. Someone's going to lose.
Overtime or no?
Best odds in the house. I think
50%. Yeah. There's either going to be overtime or there isn't.
I love it. And with that, we're headed to the lounge. The third period is underway.
It's good to be in
the
lounge.
I have to rip off this quickly before I get to the actual part I'm going to do here. So you've rattled off a few cartoons. So for me, cartoons Saturday morning was part of hockey because my games when I was little were always like 7 or 8 in the morning. So we go to the game. We'd end up at the farmer's market with Dad. Mom was never around on Saturday. I think she was working. We go to the farmer's market. We come home. I'd sit in front of the TV. Dad would be in the kitchen making apple crisp or cooking for dinner or whatever. And it was you're fired up because you've got the cartoons and it's Saturday and at 8 o'clock, Hockey Night in Canada's coming in. So I was fired up. So
wait a minute. You guys, apple crisp.
Yeah, he'd sit there, peel apples all morning and get it just fired up.
Okay, I gotta Google it. Keep going. All right, keep going. Apple crisp.
Yeah, I think they call it an apple crumble in New Zealand or something.
Oh, right. It would be. I thought Apple Crisp
Yeah.
was like a brand name, like a McCain Apple Crisp. Or
No, I don't know.
anyways, keep going.
Anyway,
Apple Crisps was a cereal, wasn't it?
no, that's Cookie Crisp. We're getting there.
Okay. Oh, we're getting there.
Okay, hold on. So, cartoons. G.I. Joe.
Wow.
Love G.I. Joe. And the thing that was funny, because same with the Transformers, is the good guys always had like the best weapons and stuff, and the bad guys, it was kind of cheap. Like in Transformer, Optimus Prime was a big truck, but Megatron was like a
He
gun.
was a huge
Remember?
gun, man.
Yeah, but he needed someone to fire him. If he had no one around, he was just lying there on the ground. Just a
I'm
gun.
pretty sure he could
Wasn't he?
fire himself. I remember
Like he could jump up in the air and shoot.
fire, man. Yeah, that's what I remember.
was like
Anyways, but yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's like a Magnum or something.
He
Yeah,
was.
okay. Anyway,
It's like a
so G.I. Joe, they had the Sky Striker. It was an F-15 plane. I used to have it as a kid. And the Cobra Commander had this like old 1940s like crappy plane. Like it was hey, they had the worst stuff. So anyway, so G.I. Joe was awesome. Let me see. Gem and the Holograms. I used to watch that.
Holograms, man. Yeah.
Because she'd touch her earrings and then they would like everything was a song, like 5 minutes.
That's right.
You know, we're the Misfits, our songs are better. For the Misfits, we're gonna get her.
Misfits. That's right. Good call.
Yeah. And it was a singer, like a keyboard guitar, and like electric drum pad. That was what they
Yeah,
had
that's
for
right.
instruments.
Yeah.
I used to watch this. It was live action. It was by this production group called Sid and Marty Krofft, and their big one they had was H&R Puff and Stuff and the Banana Splits, and they were like people in costumes. They were costume characters. If you could pull it up, you might know it. But a lot of my cartoon knowledge came from my dad. I started watching stuff that he watched.
What were they called again? What?
It was called H&R Puff and Stuff, or the Banana Splits. That was another one. They had a whole bunch of shows under this production company. It was kind of like Hanna-Barbera. So to give you an idea, they modeled. Do you remember the McDonald's Land characters? Remember them?
Yes.
There was like Mayor McCheese. They looked like that. So they modeled. McDonald's modeled their characters from the show.
Yeah.
Grimace and and Mayor McCheese and all that kind of stuff. So, but the theme song was tra la 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 la. It was like a 60s, 70s show. It was super trippy.
I certainly don't.
I think check that out. There was the Great Space Coaster with Gary Gnu. Yeah, I don't know if you guys watched that stuff. It was good.
Oh.
I don't remember.
What else? Obviously, there was like Tom and Jerry. I'm ripping through this. TV Ontario was a big station for me growing up. You guys
Ontario.
might remember TV Ontario from Toronto.
TV2, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Like Channel 2?
Okay, but yeah, it was Channel 13 for me.
Right. Yeah.
And they had some good shows, and I used to watch Today's Special.
Oh,
there it
today's
is.
special.
H&R Puff.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Which,
there
yeah?
is. He was a mannequin, and it was in the department
Yeah,
store.
that's right.
And there was the night watchman and the chick that hung out with him.
H&R Puff and Stuff drug references.
It's such a trippy show if you watch it. Anyway, there was another show on TV Ontario called, it was like a workout show. And this guy would come out with a cart with like towels and they would do, it was like kids exercising. It was like, I couldn't stop
Oh, I
watching it.
remember these guys. I
Yeah, today's
totally
special.
remember these guys.
Yeah, Jeff was the mannequin. I'm trying to remember the night watchman's
You-
name and the
You
mouse.
put that,
It's like
Oh, what
mouse
was that guy's name? What was that guy's name? Greg?
Jeff.
Was it,
Jeff Hyslop was the guy and he put his hat on and he came
Yeah.
alive.
That was
No.
the whole thing.
And Muffy Mouse
oh,
was the mouse.
yes.
Was it Crenshaw? Was it
I
Mr.
totally-
Crenshaw or
I
something?
totally
Was he the-
remember this show
God,
now.
man.
Wow, yeah.
Langer. Good
That was
call.
I used to watch that. And then there was the Green Forest. It was a
yeah.
cartoon.
Yeah, I remember
The Green Forest.
Oh my god.
The green. And it was like it looked like a watercolor painting. Like the animation was kind of old school. You said there was Edison Twins. I used to watch that. I don't remember that. There was
Twins, man. Yes.
they were like they solved crimes and well, not crimes,
That's
like just
right.
sort of minor
Yeah.
petty infractions. It wasn't really that heavy duty.
Oh my goodness.
There was the Friendly Giant.
Yeah.
Tell me you
Yeah.
remember the
Oh,
Friendly
man, he
Giant.
was awesome. Man.
I got a little rocking chair over here for those who like to rock.
That's right, eh?
And Jerome the giraffe, he had like a deep voice, and he played like the flute or the tambourine or something. He had no arms, which was awesome.
Sorry, this dude.
Oh yeah, I remember
Yes.
this guy too.
That was a Canadian classic. So these were kind of local shows that I remember.
What about the raccoon?
Yes, that's well. I think we should save that for hockey shows.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Because that's a great
Yeah,
one too.
yeah.
Somebody said they grew up near the guy who made it.
So he lived in my town.
That's
He
awesome.
drew me or the family, like a quick little sketch of. Anyways,
I love it. Anyway, so another one that I loved was called "You Can't Do That on Television."
Yes,
I remember that one.
Yes.
And if you said water, you got watered. If you said I don't know, you got green slimed. And there was Barth,
Yep.
and he was the gross guy that worked at the burger place. And yeah, that was awesome. I still watch that from time to time because it's funny. Alanis Morissette actually was a character, an actress on that before she was big,
Really?
which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you check that out. Yep, the great show. Loved it. And like the live action kids shows back in the day were, yeah,
it's like
it was
Bubbles'
great.
dad was in the show.
Awesome. There's Alanis sitting on the far right. If
Yeah,
you're staring at the
yeah.
screen, she's sitting
There
there.
she is, yeah.
Crazy. So I watched that. I used to love the show called The Hilarious House of Frankenstein. It was live action. Do you remember that one?
I might.
It was on Toronto CHCH, and it was like there was weird characters. There was like Wolfman Jack, he was a DJ, and then there was Frankenstein, and Igor was green, and there was the girl, there was like the witch who was did a cooking show on it. It was really bizarre and trippy. Hilarious House of Frankenstein. Check that one out. So I used to watch that. That came out of Hamilton, actually. CHCH was a Hamilton station.
Oh,
So it was pretty good.
yes.
I don't know if you saw that one.
Remember this?
Yeah. Griselda, I think, was the she was the cook, and she was kind of. It was so trippy. Like you watch it now, you're like, what's going on? What am I watching?
Exactly. This was
Just ripping through. I remember in between cartoons, there'd be the Hinterland Who's Who, was a Canadian like vignette, and they would come on and be like, the snowy owl lives in northern Canada. It likes to stay in trees, and it would be like this educational thing that'd be like 40 seconds. So you check, you'd know if you heard the theme song. It was a good one.
I used to just remember Sit Ubu Sit. Good dog.
yeah.
After every show.
Another classic that was on in the mornings on Saturday was Tales from the Riverbed. Now this was a show that starred Hammy Hamster and GP.
Oh my
He
God,
was a
Hammy
guinea pig.
Hamster.
And they were like animals, and they like lived in a town, and like they drove like boats and stuff, and
Fucking Tales from the Riverbed.
and like the river would flood, and the mouse, the white rat or whatever, had like a general store, and it would flood, and like all his little things would be floating around his store, and he's like swimming. He's like they would put voiceovers on it. It was hilarious. Yeah, there's Hammy Hamster.
Hammy.
Yeah.
He used to wheel around in that motorboat and like be a hamster and stuff. There he is. This is great stuff. Check that. That's again trippy stuff, man.
Did you ever have a hamster growing
That's
up?
a guinea pig. Yes, and my sister named him Hammy.
There you
And
go.
he drowned
There
in
you
the
go.
sump pump, but and we caught it on film, man. It was
What a way to go.
Anyways, yeah, poor old Hammy.
You watched it die.
in his little ball, his running ball. Do you remember the bad hamster? They used to put him in a ball to let him run around. It was a death trap. Poor Hammy met his match.
And then you throw a nice sauce pass across the garage to your buddy and tuck her home. Yep. What else do we have there? So there's that. The National Film Board of Canada had some good ones, I remember. So the one we probably all know is the hockey sweater.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you remember seeing that? Yeah, and that was cool. And again, it wasn't long, and that was cool. I mean, I have the book. I bought it in grade 4, and I still have it here. It's on the shelf behind me somewhere. Still have it from grade 4. We won't talk about night stuff. I'll talk about sort of the there's some game shows I used to watch on Saturday which were interesting. So there was this one called Just Like Mom, and it had Fergie Oliver, who used to do the announcing for the Blue Jay games.
Okay.
And it was like a mom and their kid, and it was like they'd have to answer questions about each other. And at the end there was a cook-off, and they had to make like cookies or something, but they were given like all these ingredients, and then they'd have to taste different ones and decide which ones their kid was. But they put like ketchup in it, and like, because kids don't know what they're doing, right? So they put a bunch of crap in it, and it'd be gross. But the creepy thing was, Fergie would always kiss the little girls. He'd always walk over and say, "What's your name? What school do you go to?" And then he'd give her a kiss. Pull it up. Real creepy now. Real creepy.
What is it called?
It's called Just Like Mom. It was a Canadian kids game show. Check it out. Super creepy. And another kids one that I remember watching on Saturdays was called Kid Street, and they sat in these cars, and they'd answer questions, and they would like on the screen they'd move a little bit, and then at the end they had to answer one of those picto puzzles. You know, like a B plus something, and they'd always win a bike or whatever. I don't know. I was watching different shows than you were. Crazy stuff.
Just like
And then Sunday night there was Fraggle Rock, but that's Sunday. We don't want to talk about that.
yeah, that was like Fraggle Rock. I think I got like well, it's on demand.
Yes.
But anyways, yeah.
Look at that Dominion grocery store logo.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember that.
That's what I remember.
That is old school.
Look at that 7
Yeah.
Up sign there. That's crazy. Cardinal.
And there was always a trip to Disneyland. That was the big prize. But it's super creepy now when you watch it. But I used to watch that all the time. All right. So here's the deal here. So we're talking about kids' shows and cartoons. And you know what? They're just... I guess they're better now. The animation's better. And I guess the story might be better. But they're not better cartoons, boys. They're not. So I was reading about this. So it was around the 70s when the parents got all upset because of the violence in the cartoons, and then they had to like tone it down. Then they needed some educational shows because they were worried the kids were sitting around watching garbage and not learning anything, and they were worried about all the commercials because that was the target audience was the kids.
Yeah.
And you see now there's like no toy commercials or anything.
No.
We would sit there and
But there were wicked toy commercials, man. They were
awesome toy commercials.
Yeah.
Awesome commercials.
Right?
But one of the things, go on.
I remember saying like to mom and dad, "Oh, I gotta get this, da 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 da." Right? They're like, "No, yeah,
have to get it. I will die if I don't have that.
Yeah, what I remember, like
have to
going to the toy store when I was a kid was like, it was a toy store. Like there was a tiny,
it's magical.
Like any store you went into, the toy sections were massive.
The toy section,
right?
At Zellers or Towers,
anyone you went to,
anything.
it was like 10 to 15 rows deep, and like double the height. You have to get a guy to come over and get the rolly stairs to go get the really good stuff that's up the top, right?
The rolly stairs.
Rolly stairs.
Because it's on the tippy top shelf. I want that one.
You couldn't look at it, but you couldn't touch it.
That's right.
You couldn't touch it unless you're buying it.
No.
But like you go to a toy store nowadays, and the toy store aisles, like it's like there's like two, 3 aisles, and all the toys are the same.
Yeah.
All the toys are the same at every store you go to. Whereas like you shop around because like they would have some good ones at one place and totally different ones at a new place.
Yeah, that's right.
And you'd want
dude, you gotta save that, man, because there's a lot to unpack when it comes to toys as a kid.
Sorry.
Hold on to that. I know we get excited here. So I think about the decline as Somerville was saying, we grew up in the golden age. I think the end of that era. For me, it was kind of the early 90s. Oh my gosh, I forgot to mention one of the shows I watched. It was Hulk Hogan's Rock and Roll Wrestling.
Oh, I think I remember.
And I don't know if you remember that.
I totally remember that.
And it was awesome, and I loved.
And you know what? It was on.
Loved wrestling as a kid.
And it was on,
loved
it was on right before ProStars.
That's right. Yes, that's when you said ProStars. I'm like, the wrestling cartoon was on too.
They were on back to back, I believe.
And the bad guys wheeled around in like a monster truck and stuff, and they were like, "Yeah,
yep."
So you check that one out. So, with the changing sort of times where cartoons started to get not cool, and then things like video games coming out, and kids having stuff to do on Saturday, and other channels showing cartoons during the week. So Saturday wasn't as special anymore over time because there was channels like Nickelodeon had come out, and you could watch stuff all the time. So Saturday went from being the only day to like, well, anyway. So I'm telling you right now. So the big part of Saturday morning cartoons were the commercials, and for me, it was the cereal commercials. They were the best. Okay.
Good call. Good call.
Okay. And now we live in this day and age of, you got to be healthy and eat wheatgrass and drink coconut milk and a bunch of stuff. There was no limits.
No.
Like there was no helmet. There was no protection. You were just, I don't even know how we're still alive, to be honest. Some of the,
Every box.
Oh my
every
God.
box
The
turns into
marshmallow.
diabetes in a bowl.
Here we go.
That's right.
Here we go. But the thing, though, for me was all of these amazing cereals I'm going to rip off. I never had.
I was
any
never
of them.
allowed them. Only at
No,
friends' houses.
that was
right?
you weren't
Yeah.
allowed because it was
Yeah.
bad. It was
Oh, yeah.
dangerous.
The amount
It
of
was
sugar
wrong.
in there. Oh.
But it's fun. It's got marshmallows in
man.
it. There's a one cereal. It's just cookies. They're
That's right.
actual
It turns
cookies.
the milk chocolate
It's not cereal like cookies. They are actually
right.
cookies.
in a cereal bowl box.
Like in a cereal bowl. It's
Yeah.
cereal. So because I grew up with the Raisin Bran and the Corn Flakes and like the Raisin Bran was kind of cool because that's some sugar on the raisin and shredded wheat and shreddy stuff. But here we go. So we got the
Frosted
monsters.
Flakes. That was the.
Or
That was
Frosted.
the
We got that. Yep.
Yeah.
But we had the monster cereal. Do you remember the 3 monster cereals? There was 3 of them, I think. Maybe 4.
Or is like Count Chocula?
There's Count Chocula.
Yep.
There's like a strawberry one, wasn't there?
Yep. Frankenberry.
Frankenberry, yeah.
Oh, fucking Frank.
Yep.
Then there was there
Don't.
It was a blue one
blueberry.
with a
Yeah, I was
ghost.
gonna say a blue one, yeah.
Booberry.
Blueberry, yes, and I don't remember.
Blueberry. And there was a 4th one, but in the States, because that was the problem, because we'd watch shows in Canada,
Yeah.
but we would like, we need that. And like, it's in the States. We can't, you can't have it. You're like, I think there was like a fruit one monster too. It was like a skeleton. I don't know, but you can look that up. It's great.
Like a fruit punch sort of a cereal.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. It's like a mummy or I don't know what kind of
That's
monster.
right.
Werewolf berry or
I
something.
don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, it was awesome because it had marshmallows in it.
Blueberry.
And if we got the dirty cereal with the the only time we get dirty cereal,
Dirty
because I call it dirty cereal because it's dirty. But dirty's good though. As we go to the cottage in the summer, and we'd always get like to buy a box of dirty cereal, which would last about 10 minutes. Because as soon as we get there, we'd open it and just crush it.
That's right.
And I'd pick all the marshmallows out, and cereal used to have a prize in the box.
Yes.
And you would dive in, and I had a brother and sister, so you have to get in there
That's right.
fast to get that crappy whatever prize is in it. And the box would be all swollen because if you take the bag of cereal, you can't really put it back in again.
No.
It just messes the box. Okay, right. Back to the list here. So there was ProStars cereal.
ProStar.
Is that Wayne Gretzky?
That's
Yep.
right. Yeah.
Yep. Oilers. There was Cap'n Crunch, which used to cut the roof of your mouth off.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Raw.
Okay.
But it
Raw-
was
what was the
delicious,
one?
though.
And they were like, it was so delicious.
berries.
And then there was the peanut butter one.
Crunch berries.
What was the one? And they were like big, like hexagons. Remember that? It was in a red box.
Isn't that Shreddies?
And they were like a shape.
Chex.
Oh,
No.
Chex. Chex.
No.
Yeah.
No, it was like
Those aren't bad actually.
they were big corn, and they were like it was like a hexagon shape.
Oh.
Honeycomb.
Oh.
honeycomb. Do you
Yeah.
remember honeycomb?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
wow.
They would rip your mouth to
Right.
pieces. They were good. Then there was cinnamon
Oh,
toast crunch, which
man.
was super filthy, man.
I never got the
Oh.
pleasure of having cinnamon toast crunch.
Oh.
Man. Never.
Yeah, cinnamon toast crunch.
You can get it
French
at
toast.
the American
They
food store in Auckland.
Oh,
you can get
can,
it.
eh?
French
Yeah.
toast crunch.
You should.
Yeah.
You should
yeah.
see what they've
I
got
can,
there.
The French toast.
Just a
crunch.
dumpster.
Dumpster.
That's
yeah.
a good one. They got dumpster cereal at the Martha's backyard in Mount Wellington by the mall, just off the motorway. Awesome. Obviously, there was corn
Sponsored by
pops.
Barclays
Corn
back
pops.
then.
Yeah.
Yes, go there. They deliver too. Next day delivery. Shreddies that if you left in milk for 5 seconds,
Oh
they
yeah,
turned to mush.
that's right. It's like
Yeah.
the North American version of Wheat Bix.
No, that's Weetabix. That was different.
Right.
Yeah, Weeda. They're
Yeah.
just throwing it off.
That's right.
And-
Yeah. And then there was like puffed wheat, which were like,
yeah.
remember that?
Yeah,
What is that? It was like,
It wasn't a solid piece of wheat. It had air in between it. Right.
yeah, it was like
Yeah,
packing foam
yeah.
or something.
It tasted like it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it tastes like
right.
nothing. And you pour the sugar on it, would just go straight to the bottom of the bowl, right?
It's like, what?
It didn't stick to anything. Obviously, there was Fruit Loops and Apple Jacks, and
I remember that
Yeah,
about
Cookie
Cinnamon
Crisp
Toast
and-
Crunch, though. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, like you would eat a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and the filth that was the milk when
At the
the
end,
cereal
right?
was
Oh.
gone.
Yeah.
Like in retrospect, it was just
Oh.
like mainlining syrup.
oh, it was just cocaine, and it was like doing a speedball at the end. It was just. Oh, okay. Here's the story, though. Yeah. Oh, so when I was a kid, because I wanted this. So this is. I'm going to tell you the story right here. So, because we had like nothing good cereal wise growing up. Like when you go stay overnight at someone's house, the first thing I would do is like, what do you have in your cupboard? Like, what are you working with? And there would be some just gross stuff in there. I'm like,
Oh no.
What is that?
oh, can I?
What is that?
Can I? Oh, I know what it is because I'm watching the commercials on Saturday
Yeah.
morning. So I'm like, can I stay over at your
Yeah,
house?
oh right, you would scope it out.
Because
Yeah.
because in the morning I cannot wait to have a motorcycle helmet full of dirty cereal. It's gonna be awesome. So I had a friend, his name was Jason Cripps, and they always had just the most disgusting cereal selection. It was awesome staying at his house. Anyway, so I vowed one day, I said one day when I get some money, I'm gonna get myself. I'm gonna sort it out. So I was working at the Memorial Center. I got my first paycheck. I was 14. Went to the old A&P grocery store, and I got myself a box of Cocoa Pops and a jug of chocolate milk. And you know exactly where this is going. Exactly. And I went home, and I put it together. And dudes, the milk turned black. Black. And I ate it, and I felt so good and then so ashamed in about 5 seconds. Because what it was doing to my insides, I can't even describe. But it was a dream. I had to fulfill this dream
Nice work.
since I was a little
work.
kid. So anyway, we've got all that stuff, and hopefully some people go out this weekend and buy a bunch of garbage cereal and eat it in front of their
right.
kids, and not let them try any until they're old enough to buy their own stuff. So that's what I'm saying with today, with the Special K and the wheat Bix and Bic wheat and gross wheats and whatever. Like that's I guess it's good cereal. But you know, it's not better cereal.
No.
You
No.
know that.
No.
And that's
No,
that's
good
it.
call.
That's all I got to say about that. Good stuff.
And
Nice. nice
that's
period.
going to end regulation.
Nice
So
work.
as we head to overtime this week, we had with this being our 5th episode, we figured let's pick 5 NHL teams you like. So that was our question for the week. My favorite team overall, as most of you know now, it's St. Louis. I will say I got a soft spot for Calgary. I got a soft spot for Toronto, both being hometown teams, the two hometown teams that I support. I do like Philly. And if I was going to pick a last team, I'd probably say the Knights. I like watching the Knights. So those would be my 5. Summer, what would be your 5 teams on episode 5?
Right. So my favorite is obviously the Senators, but there's not a lot. Look, I mean, there's been. Anyways, we're playing a little bit more consistently now. But anyways, if I'm using my mind rather than my heart, I probably would go with Edmonton, Vegas, Washington, and
Are you picking teams to win the cup, or are these teams you actually like?
I like, and Florida.
Florida.
I mean, Tampa's in there as well, but yeah, I'm
Do
going.
you like the logo change for Florida, or do you like the old logo?
The one that says Florida with the panther underneath it?
No, the one with the big cat jumping out at you.
Yeah, I don't like that one. That's the old 80s one, isn't it? Or 90s?
Yeah,
or
it's the
whatever?
one
yeah.
from when they started.
No,
or
I'm not.
began, Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Langer.
Oh,
I think
Langer's got
Langer
it.
might be going to acquire the.
There we go. Yeah, see,
You
that's
like-
the new
yeah.
one. I like
So you
that
like-
one.
You like that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old one's like the full cat out with its claws.
Yeah,
right?
cat's like-
yeah.
Coming out. Yeah.
No, Florida's playing well. Not that they've come out of nowhere, but
I got them as a dark horse to make some noise. What about you, Langer?
Well, if you know me, you know I have strong feelings that I would chop probably 10 to 12 teams out of the league immediately if I was in charge. Because I just can't deal with teams in Nashville and Carolina and Florida. It's just ridiculous. So it's keeping in the spirit of being a kid. I'm going to tell you the teams that I liked as a kid. So obviously I'm a Leafs fan because I had no choice. I loved the North Stars because I thought they had the coolest
did.
uniforms in the world.
I
Minnesota.
gotta shout out to Wild Retro Reverse Jersey, man. Is fucking
Yeah, they look
kick-ass,
great, eh?
man. Yeah,
Their pants
Yeah.
look awesome too. The green with the
Yeah,
yellow stars
yeah.
on them. So I love them. I loved Hartford, obviously, because their uniform was awesome, but they sucked, and I always felt bad for teams that sucked.
My dad was a monster Hartford fan,
the
Ron
Leaf.
Francis fan. He was a
Yeah.
Ron Francis
Yeah.
fan.
Pat Verbeek
yeah.
and Ray Ferraro, and
Chris Pronger.
yeah, they were great guys. Yeah, that's later on, but I'm talking old school Green Crew brawls like back in the day.
Like Somerville when he was
that's
a
right.
kid guy.
Yeah. Obviously Edmonton I like because they were awesome back in the '80s and stuff, and Grant Fuhr was one of my heroes. He was cool. This is more than 5. Montreal because they were on TV a lot and they were good, and they always had good teams.
Yeah,
My dad won't like that, but and I like Buffalo because it's Buffalo.
man, they had wicked
Like-
jerseys. Like the '80s jerseys were awesome with the actual sabers that crossed.
Yeah,
Right?
the only one that I really didn't like was when they went to that stupid bullhead.
Yeah,
or
the
bison.
bison.
Oh, yeah.
When the Dominic Hasek era.
Yeah.
When they
Yeah.
went black, red, and white for a little bit there.
Yeah, and then there was the Buffa Slug logo that came out when they went back to blue, gold, and white.
Oh yes.
And that was gross too. I like their old logo. Their old logo was ugly. It was like the Islanders and the Oilers. It's kind of like in the old Vancouver, like the '80s Vancouver. Like, what are you doing? It's just kind of weird. Anyway,
Vancouver was
so
a weird one. Yeah. Orange.
The flying.
I can't even.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you who I like today because honestly, they annoy me. I realized trying to make this list, there's so many teams I don't like. So I'll save that for another list. That was a way longer list than the teams I like. So yeah, I'm gonna go old school with when I was a kid. That's just I can do that.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
that kind of brings to the end episode 5. But before we do go, we did forget to do this last week.
What? What did we forget?
What?
Well, what'd you Google this week, Summer?
Oh, right.
Oh, right.
Shoot. Not a lot. No. Okay. I did Google. I did do some Googling.
Of course you did.
I thought we got it in with Roger
yeah,
Ramjet.
well,
I thought
No,
that
I think
hammered that
I
one.
think he might be doubling up right now. He might have used this Ramjet card earlier.
Damn it. It's done. Yeah. No.
Yes,
Any
and
guesses?
if you're catching us late, I know there's only a few of you out there listening to us right now. We do come on late on a Wednesday night. But if you are out there, reminder, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell so that you get notifications when we come on. And if you didn't miss most of this episode, the 17th team in the hockey house will be the Ramjets.
That's right. That's right. The Rogers and the Ramjets. Right.
So here we go. What'd you Google this week?
All right. Well, look, I mean, I was like Googling Saturday morning cartoons and yeah, there wasn't, I mean, apart from what I've already gone through, I found, wait a minute, where'd it go here? Let me go back to my notes. So I just found an interesting article about cartoons. So some interesting facts about 80s cartoons. They weren't as well, they just say they'd never be allowed on air today.
Yeah.
Basically.
Oh, I think I know what's going to happen.
Well, they're trying to cancel a lot of them.
Well, that's it, right? Like
Pepe the Pew.
this thing. So some of the things I read here are like some of my all-time favorites. Transformers. Like it refers to a particular episode. Let's see, what does it say here? Well, first movie, nothing disturbing. Okay, it's so whilst beloved, there are a lot of questionable things from it, and proves that Michael Bay was far from the first divisive thing to happen to the brand. In season 2, Seas change. Sea Spray inexplicably transform into a Robo Aquaman after falling for a mermaid using a magic pool. Although it's not weird, it's just fucking impossible to happen. So that was a weird one for Transformers. You don't transform from a robot into a merman, but
Into a mermaid.
Righto.
Hey, maybe that's what that earlier picture was. We were looking at Transformers, and that chick popped up.
Maybe. Oh man, the Smurfs was another one. Horrifying Christmas special. Well, we'll get to that one. So the episode features an antagonist known as the Christmas Stranger, which already sounds like the name of a holiday horror film. Who was sold to orphans, homeless kids by Gargamel. Child slavery. Why not? Why not? Yeah. The man uses the
human
children
trafficking
in a fiery, satanic-looking ritual in hopes that it'll open a portal for their final journey. Anyways, blah 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 blah, and then the gendered stereotyping of the sexist trope, the Smurfette principle. I love that, eh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a film.
He-Man.
An adult
He-Man
film.
Masters of the Universe. There was an episode called "In the Quest for He-Man." The hero ends up transported to the planet Tranus through a rainbow portal where he confronts a lisping pink rabbit overlord, Plunder the Spoiler. And
is it relevant today? That's the question we have to ask ourselves.
Right, exactly. And if that wasn't enough, how about Fisto's Forest? A brutish man with a giant armored hand.
Brutish man who lives in the forest.
That's right. Do you guys remember the Thundercats? Do you remember that they were always naked? They didn't wear clothes?
No.
They had a bit of color on them to kind of...
My Little Ponies. There was one where the magical heroes who were living in hoof-quaking fear of being enslaved by a giant satanic centaur called Tarek, and the force to pull his chariot of darkness. Yeah, that was My Little Pony. I'm looking at a picture of this Taros guy. Maybe I'll pop it on here, see if you guys remember. But anyways, horrifying 80s. All right, so back to here's Taros. I don't know if you remember this dude.
Oh.
Right. I don't remember this one. Beverly Hills Teens. Didn't read this one. Rude Dog and the Dweebs. You'd never get that on air. Never.
No, not even. You wouldn't even be able to say it out loud.
Foofer sounds too much like Poofer. You'd never go. Yeah. Pawpaws. Don't remember those guys. It's a fruit called Pawpaw.
No,
Chip and Dale. I'm not even gonna. Do I have to go any further than that? Named after a strip.
These are the Asian cats.
They're named after a strip joint. Oh yeah,
I never even thought of that.
Not only so they got slanted eyes and they talk with the Siamese cats. That's right. So G.I. Joe. Anyway, so look, I guess the point is here that there was a lot of 80s cartoons that didn't actually or wouldn't fly in today's world. Then that was all I could really do with cartoons, but so I got thinking, shit, man, it's we won America's Cup. So I got looking at past America's Cups, and I started looking at since we were talking about our 1980s cartoons, let's take a look at the boats. Can you guys see this now? The boats?
Yeah.
So this is the boats in 1980 America's Cup. It's like a recreational sailboat, man. Right?
Yeah. It's like the one in Jaws.
Some dude owns this.
Yeah.
My next door neighbor. These guys are racing them professionally. Look at these guys. It's like watching paint dry. But
I don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't even what is the America's Cup? How many
still
races do they do?
7. You got to win.
Seems
7.
it seems like they've been racing for like a week.
Oh, it's next to the Stanley Cup. It's the longest running world race, and if not one next to the Stanley Cup, the hardest trophy to win. just
okay.
to get.
Is there only 2 countries that compete?
No, no. So just to get to
No,
the
there's-
cup,
there's-
you've got to
there's a few.
get through like 13 regatta races, right? You've got to beat, and then you got to win the circuit. Then you go on to the championship circuit. You got to win that circuit. Then you go to the Challengers Cup, right, which was the Prada Cup. Then you got to beat 2 other teams. There's collision coming up here. No, ants. And then once you. Yeah, then you got to win the Prada Cup or the Challenger Cup.
Wow,
then
that's
you have
insane.
a chance to play the champions. That's how hard it is to get there. And they announced today that New Zealand's the only country to have defended the America's Cup twice back to back. Yeah, only country. So anyways,
cool.
now interestingly, some of the camera shots we'll see later are actually from the boats themselves, which you'd never see because they didn't have cameras that just mounted
just
in
showed
the
that
thing.
last one.
This, like
It
here,
looks pretty wild.
this is a guy
Yeah.
on the boat or a cam. Oh my god, it looks like it's going under. Or maybe it's just a camera
dude's just
strap.
holding-
But
If they froze the water and put like
His-
blades on the
his sail
boat,
looks
oh
really-
I could
man,
probably
I got
figure this
into
out.
ice sailing. That was part of the things I was looking at. But I thought, okay, so that was 1980 compared to today's boats. Let's just take a look at today's boats. Look how fast and smooth they are on the water. Do you remember how jarring it was with the other boats? Or in and out waves
Yeah.
or splashing. Look how smooth these guys are. Whoops.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, in what, 40 years? Technology. Has it really changed that much, right? There's still the 2
Yeah,
same big masts, right? But now instead of being in the water, they hydroplane over it with their foils. Just a
I think it'd be cooler if they dressed up like pirates
something.
or something.
But that would be a great idea.
somebody-
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like you need.
Yeah, I
something.
guess spice it up.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
At
no,
least sell it.
I'm sorry, boy.
Sell advertising on the sales or something.
that's right. Well, they
I'm
do.
sorry, boys. Any sport that's sponsored by a product that I have in no way could ever afford, I'm out.
Right.
Like Prada and Emery, like I'm
Yeah,
out of here.
yeah.
Sorry, that's not aimed at
Yeah.
people like me.
No, it's not.
And guys my size sink ships.
That- well,
The
that's-
the anchor.
Yeah, I am an anchor. And that is going to anchor us into a finish of this show as we say goodbye for another episode of Ridin Pine on behalf of Summer and Langer. We'll see you next week.
That was a great
Nice
game.
work, boys.
Great game.
I'm
boys.
exhausted now.
Can you help me? Can you help me out? Ready? Cause riding the pine, chronicles of the fourth line. We were watching Saturday morning cartoons when cartoons were in their prime. That's why we're riding the pine, riding the pine. I'll see you next time with Punchy, Langer, and Summertime.
I'm out. I'll get the pucks.
All right, I'll grab the water balls and the sticks.
Nice show,
See you
boys.
later.
Good work.
Awesome show.
And that's it. Punchy has hit stop. I have recording 100%. It's like super duper fast, man.
That was fun.
I can't wait to watch it while I go to sleep now.
Yeah.
So don't you guys do the same thing? Put it on your phone and just sort of watch it. And I eventually